artist and muralist here in San Diego. I'm from Ocean Beach, and if you hang out there, you may recognize this mural I painted down the alley from Rite Aid, or this one when you're leaving on Sunset Coast Boulevard on the back of Chris's Liquor. I think I'll sit down. Okay. I was practicing my bed, so this is very simple. Okay. Or if you have been lucky enough to be at my parents' house, you may have seen this in their upstairs bedroom. Very VIP. But yeah, so I haven't only painted in Ocean Beach. I made my way out of there, which people don't believe is possible sometimes. But I painted about 80 murals in about 7 countries, most of which are in America and Mexico. And in San Diego, you might recognize my work from Skydeck in Del Mar. I painted this in 2020. And I painted the Lift building on Marina Boulevard a couple years ago. And I was in San Diego Magazine last month. But I was not always a muralist. I actually studied illustration for 4 years, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I thought I'd be an illustrator, but I also loved painting. I also loved installations. But when I graduated, some of my first illustration work that was published was in the New York Times, and I did a handful of illustrations for their op-ed section. And I worked and I did a lot of food-style illustrations for Lucky Peach magazine out of San Francisco. The one on the left is called STDs, and the one on the right is called Surf and Turf. So this is the first mural I ever painted, and it was in 2009 when I was still in art school, and it's on my dad's airplane hangar. And he likes to fly offshore and search for whales, and so I painted some humpback whales on his hangar. And this took me about 2 months to paint. I think I was 21 years old, and I really didn't like painting murals at this point. I just thought this is really hard, it's hot, the building was corrugated metal, and it was just kind of a pain, so I didn't really think of that as my career path. Yet here I am. So in 2013, I guess I'd only painted maybe 5 murals by this time, but I got a job teaching at a design college in Sri Lanka, which is a little island under India. And they wanted me to sign a contract and move there and just teach design. But I had just graduated from college, so I was I don't know if I want to do that. So I flew over there and I met Aaron Glasson, who's a local artist here, who you may or may not have heard of. But we painted this mural together and in Colombo, Sri Lanka, and I specifically remember standing on a ladder thinking wow, this is so cool. I just want to travel the world and paint murals. It was very fun. And back then I was so casual. I was barefoot, I was yeah, I could get a tan. Now I wear full sun protection. So for the next 5 or 6 years, I did travel and paint murals. I went to Vietnam, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico. I did a project in Taiwan. This is in Vietnam. This is in Mujeres, Mexico, with a project called Seawalls. And it's part of Pangea Seed's ocean conservation mural project, where you paint murals about different ocean issues, and they were the reason why I got to go to a lot of these islands. This is in Cozumel, Mexico, San Francisco, not Seawalls. This is here in Barrio Logan. This is in Savannah, Georgia. And in this period of my life, I kind of basically was just painting giant illustrations, which I guess I still do, but I feel it's transforming right now. And everywhere I would paint, I try to incorporate aspects of the environment. So this one in Georgia, I used the Spanish moss as a woman's hair, and the woman was the woman that owned this building. And the plants are all plants that were around her property. And this was pretty cool. Painting murals, you get to be in a lot of really interesting places. And this one, I got to I hung out all day in this mini horse enclosure. And there was this big dog, like a big mastiff dog that was exactly the same size as the mini horse, and they had a gay relationship. It's very interesting. This is in Napier, New Zealand. I think, is this where I met you guys?
In New Mexico?
No, in Mexico or New Zealand? Chris was a part of the Seawalls project, as was Carly. She's a great muralist in the front row.
Oh, we met you here.
In San Diego? Oh, okay.
San Diego.
Okay, well. Okay, anyway, this is in El Paso, Texas. The whole world is one world and all blends together. This is in Seattle, Washington for the Soto Track project. And so, through Seawall's mural project, I basically got invited to paint in another handful of projects around the United States and Mexico. That was pretty cool. This is in Oakland, California, Mexico City, Puebla, Mexico. And all of these, I wish I had more time to tell you about all the unique experiences in all these places, because I really feel like that's like the weirdest thing about painting murals that people don't tell you about. Like, most people, you go to work, you have the same experience with the same people, like, day after day, but like, it's crazy. Every place I go, it's like, I have a new little community for that little period of time in that place. And yeah, it's really interesting. Like this place in Puebla, Mexico, like, these people who I had to stay with, they lived like in this enclosure with like all these pigs in the courtyard, and like they were so slow. Like this project was supposed to take like 3 days, but like one day I'm like, we need to go get paint, and then they're just like, oh, well, we feel like going to the swimming park, and I was like, what? And then like we go to the water park all day. It was like, wow, people like really don't think the same down here. This is in Encinitas, California, San Diego. And this is in, for Cabo Del Mar. I painted this with Aaron also. And during this whole time, I was painting murals. I also have like a whole illustration career that I do, but I've really chosen to paint murals because that's how I've found to make a living in my life. Because when you paint illustrations, like this illustration I did for Amplifier Foundation, I think I got paid like $1,500 or something. But then if you paint a mural, you can get paid a lot more than that. So I'm sharing this illustration because it's, I think, the most successful, like most widely spread illustration that I ever made. And it was supposed to show how activists of all races have been really important in shaping the history of America. And it was really cool. So like in the 2020 election, this post went viral, and it was shared like hundreds, if not thousands of times. And like my whole entire Instagram tag photos was just this image, and it was really cool to make something that felt so powerful, that resonated with so many Americans. Oh, and it was shared by the lady from Seinfeld, Elaine. And Camila Cabello, the pop star. Wow. And this is my most widely shared mural, and I guess if you're Mexican, you might recognize it, but if you're American, probably not. But this is Frida, and she's a rescue dog who saved a bunch of people from the rubble of the 2017 earthquake in Mexico City. And my friend called me like about a week after the earthquake happened and asked me if I wanted to come down there and paint like something inspirational for the city. And so I decided to paint this dog, and she's kind of like a symbol of hope in the middle of the city. And I kind of painted her like modeled off of the Virgin Guadalupe, that's like really popular down there. Oh, and this was cool because it's the first time I painted a mural that kind of took on a life outside of me. So, like usually when I paint a mural, it's like, oh, here's the title and it's by Celeste Byers. But this one was like, no, this is just Frida the Rescue Dog's mural, and like it got on the front page of Reddit, and like I had no connection to it. It was like everyone was just stoked for this dog, and and it was just kind of cool to create something that was so powerful and like bigger than myself, that was like for the world. And this is another socially relevant project, I think, that I thought was important in my career so far. And it's in Cancun, Mexico, and here I'm photographing this woman named Margarita. And she is a great-grandmother, and her heritage is Mayan, which are the indigenous people of Cancun. So like you think of party town, but these people are the original people there. So if you can see Aaron down there, we painted this together. He's super tiny, and this is on a 4-story building, and 4 generations of this woman's family lived in this building, and it was really cool to just pay homage to like their lineage and their heritage in such a prominent place in the city. And on the last day of the project, the woman, Margarita, she brought dresses, their traditional Ipil dresses for me and all the women involved in the project to wear. And this is a mural I painted last summer in Oxnard, California, and it's called California Immigrants, and it pays homage to the Chinese, Mexican, Japanese, Indigenous, Black, and Filipino people of the area. And I think it's really cool to be involved in these projects that represent underrepresented groups of people, because really, like, California's history really involves all of us, so to create these giant monuments to people other than white men is awesome. Okay, so on the side, I also do design-based murals. And I've been doing this since about 2016. This is in Madison on Park in University Heights. And this was probably the first mural where I used the architecture as inspiration for the mural. This is in Zihuatanejo, Mexico, and I worked with an architect called Andres Saavedra, and see I'm like incorporating elements from the environment in the mural instead of just straight up painting an illustration on the wall. Kind of like what Yomar was talking about. This is in the Porta Vista Hotel in Little Italy, and for projects like this, I generally like, it's like, oh, I'm just trying to make the space pretty, I'm not trying to really say anything. This is in Sereno Valley, and this is for a science, like biotech research company, and these companies have sort of hijacked my career for the past few years, and they're building all these biotech centers in San Diego right now, and like, I think I've worked for at least like 4 or 5 of these companies now. This one's in Sereno Valley, this is in the Sova district, and this is all native plants. The last one was native plants also to San Diego. This building is by the architect Tyler Hansen here in San Diego, and he saw that other mural, the poppy mural, and he wanted his own poppy mural. And this was kind of cool because there had been graffiti on the wall, and I just covered it up with my flowers. This is in Thousand Oaks. This was just taken last week, and now I'm working on this series. I guess all of these ones kind of are a part of the same series, but they're just basically abstractions of nature, just put together in just what I think is a beautiful patterned way. And yeah, I'm painting like 4 of those right now. And when I go to work tomorrow, that's what I'll be doing. Thank you.